Good evening. I'm Jack Molinar. I'm the council president of the Borough Council, and tonight our mayor couldn't be here, so I'll be running the meeting. So with that, we'll start right off with the announcement. Hereby announce and request that such be included in the minutes of this meeting, that notice of time, place, and date of the meeting has been prominently posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, mailed to the Times, the Star Ledger, Courier News, and the Alternate Press by January 10th, 2018. Filed with the Borough Clerk and mailed to any person requesting the same in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. And thank you. Roll call, please.
Anthony Carter,
Present.
Russell Hugo,
Present.
Tom Krantz,
Here.
Erin McElroy-Balker,
Here.
Catherine Mitchell, here, Jack Molinar,
Here.
Mayor Moore.
In front of you, you've gotten the minutes from the regular meeting, December 18th, 2017. I need a motion.
So moved.
Here, a second?
Second.
Is this a roll call? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Next. In your packet is a proclamation. Were you involved in this, Kathy, at all with the seniors?
No, I did not. I was not aware that it was her 100th birthday.
So, resident of Fanwood, that lives at the Chelsea, Marjorie Evans. She was born December 30th, 1917, turned 100 years old. And we presented her with a proclamation because, you know, that's just amazing. And congratulations on that. And a lot of great residents here in Fanwood, and here's another one. So that's great.
May I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
Not regarding this, but do we have a proclamation for Martin Luther King Day? Okay. Should we?
I'll have to make it up next month.
Computer-assisted
thank you.
dispatch system.
We have no communication, so we'll go right to standing committee reports. Councilman Krantz.
Thank you, Councilman Molinar. First order of business is the tax collector's report. Our tax collector collected $2,364,732.07 in the month of December, ending the year with 98.35% of our total levy, which is really a great number. I also wanted to mention that in an effort to help our taxpayers alleviate some of the pain of the new tax bill, which doesn't allow you to deduct any more than $10,000 on your property taxes, and we have many taxpayers whose property taxes are higher. Thanks to Fred Tompkins, our CFO, and Eleanor, our administrator, and Colleen Hune, our tax collector, they actually opened up our tax office on Saturday the 31st, New Year's Eve day, for several hours to allow people at the last minute to file some of their 2018 taxes in 2017, so they can deduct them. And that was hugely successful, as opposed to taking in $60,000, $70,000 in prepaid taxes. This year we took in over $2 million, and that was a huge, huge convenience for our taxpayers. And going forward, I think that the Administration and Finance Committee will be looking at other ways that we can help our taxpayers in various ways ameliorate that burden somewhat. The A&F committee has not yet had its first meeting of the year. We're having that Friday, I believe. We have a lengthy list of things to discuss, and we will, and I'll report back next month. I wanted to give just a quick update of Fanwood Television. Those of our residents who get Comcast Fios and watch our TV station on Channel 24 have been noticing that there have been some significant problems with the picture. The problem basically being the picture freezes, and then it unfreezes, and it freezes, and it unfreezes. And unfortunately, I found out after the fact that during our reorganization meeting on July 1st, Comcast viewers saw basically 3 freeze frames over that hour and didn't see, they heard everything, but they didn't see everything. The problem turns out to be a piece of FiOS equipment that failed. It's the encoder that takes the signal from our studio and puts it upline. And that is being, apparently FiOS has agreed to replace that. It's a couple $1,000s worth of equipment, and they're going to provide the manpower, the person power to do that as well. Apparently the Comcast signal is fine. It's the FiOS signal that is in question. And it also turns out that FiOS has very few technicians who know how to troubleshoot these community television stations, because a lot of communities are now going to what Scotch Plains did. They're streaming their community TV onto services like Roku and Google Cast. So if you want to see community TV, you now have to subscribe to one of those services as opposed to getting it free. I don't know that we're there yet, but that's what some folks are doing. I think for now, that is my report,
Okay.
Mr. Council President.
Thank you. Now we're to Councilman Carter. Your
He needs to move the tax collector.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Oh.
So our tax collections for December were a little over $2.3 million, and I'd like to move that.
So moved.
do I hear a second?
Second.
Roll call?
No.
No? All in favor?
Aye.
None against, passed. Okay, now we go to Councilman Carter for his first public safety report after 16 days serving in office.
Thank you, Councilman. According to the statistics through December 31st, 2017, from our Fanwood Police Department, headed by Chief Richard Trigo, the total calls for police assisted through our computer-assisted dispatch system was 1,140. Total calls for police assistance through the 911 terminal, 19. We moved to motor vehicle stops for various violations. The total number, 428, 428. Total number of summons issued, 391, 391. Motor vehicle moving violation summonses issued, 120. Non-moving violations, 196. Parking summonses, 75. DWI, thank goodness, 0. Now we move to the total number of adult arrests, 9. 7 of those were on arrest on warrants. 1 was for prescription fraud, 1 for simple assault. Total number of juvenile arrests, thank goodness, 0. Total number of crimes reported, 13. 2 of those were fraud. 1 was burglary. 1 disorderly. 6 theft or larceny. 1 criminal mischief. 2 for harassment. That concludes the police department portion. I'm currently arranging a joint meeting between our police department, fire department, and rescue squad. A few things we need to get in order. On the fire department side, on Tuesday, January 2nd, at approximately 4:00 p.m., our Fanwood Fire Department responded to a call of a fire at 78 Midway, Fanwood. The exact cause of the fire is still yet to be determined, but with the valiant efforts of our Chief John Picola, the Assistant Chief is Dave Zawodniak, and the members of our Fanwood all-volunteer fire department, they were able to contain the fire to the basement of the home and minimize damage to the residents. The residents, Mr. and Mrs. Anillo, it appears I had conversation with them. They were preparing to sit down for dinner and noticed smoke emanating from the basement, immediately called 911. Happy to report that all of the residents, guests, and family pets were safely evacuated. Of course, Chief Richard Trigo and the Fanwood Police Department also quickly responded to the scene and secured the area and checked for injuries. Our Mayor, Colleen Marr, remained in constant communication with the responders and offered assistance to the residents as well. I responded to the scene after receiving a call also, and was taken around by Chief Trigo, spoke to the residents, thanked all of our first responders, and our neighboring responders from Scotch Plains and North Plainfield thanked them as well. Fanwood Police remained on the scene. They secured the residents, and I did return the next day and spoke to the residents again, and they were there with their insurance agents, but of course that's not my responsibility. But they were given all the pertinent information on where they could receive help if they needed as well. And that concludes the report.
Thank you. Now I'll go to Public Works report, which is my responsibility. We did have our first Public Works meeting. A lot of detail in that meeting. I'm not going to go over that all tonight. There's still formulating our plan for this year's of road construction. But before I go into more detail, the one issue that has been the most problematic over the last couple of months is the American Water Company work that is going on North Avenue. And I would like to have our borough engineer, Antonios, talk to that. Antonios?
Hi. So we had a pre-construction meeting last week with the water company. There's two different contractors that are involved with the water project right now. The one company is CRJ, who's scheduled to finish their phase of the work this week. They're working on some service work, and they've been stuck trying to finish up. So hopefully the weather that's coming in the next couple days doesn't slow them down, but they are scheduled to finish this week. The other phase, the company's called Montana Construction. They're installing a 30-inch water main down the length of North Avenue between Martine and Terrell Road and into Plainfield. They are scheduled to finish that work by March 31st, and that's a hard deadline. So they'll be working 6 days a week, probably 8:30 to 4:30 or 5 o'clock every day.
Thank you. Any council, do you have any questions of Antonios?
I just have one. Where is their staging area?
The equipment, the trucks and the bigger
Yeah.
machines, they're going to park overnight on North Avenue in front of the work site because the type of equipment that they're using would rip up the roads if they had to drive it back and forth
Okay.
every day. Their trucks, they will be parking at the Plainfield location of American Water, New Jersey American Water. The only material that's going to be stored at the site across from Elm Street, not on Elm Street, it's across from Elm Street on North Avenue. They're going to be using some stone and other day-to-day material. The pipe will be all stored at their Plainfield facility.
Okay.
So they're trying to be as little as invisible, I guess, as possible with as big of a project as this is. So.
And I think you mentioned this, but there's not going to be work being done overnight. It's during the day.
So the only work that's scheduled to work overnight is when they cross Terrell Road into Plainfield.
Okay.
The work on by Martine, I believe, already is completed. I'd have to confirm that.
Okay.
So. Yeah, that work is complete, and then, but they still need to get the 30-inch water main into Plainfield.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. One of the other things that we talked about at our Public Works meeting was our Public Works Director was there, Clint Dixon, and he brought up a concern that we just want to pass along to the residents of when our Public Works vehicles are out there picking up leaves, picking up brush, and plowing. It's important that if you have anything overhanging the roadway past the curb line, that can get caught up into our trucks and then get dragged along the street. And our trucks have dragged a couple of basketball nets along the street. So, so what we're hoping that from a good neighbor standpoint of when you look at our brush pickup and leaf pickup schedule, and when you see snow coming down, to pull them in because they will hook up onto our trucks. It could damage our trucks. It could hurt other people around the truck. So we're trying to do this in the most safe ways possible. So if you can help us, we can help you. So we just wanted to pass that along as a kind of good neighbor advice. So with that, that's the end of my Public Works report, and I turn to Councilman Ugal.
I have no report this month.
Okay, that's even easier. Then we go to Councilwoman McElroy Barker.
Usually his report is 10 minutes, so I was prepared. Okay, so the Rec Commission has not met yet this month. We met in December. I should say they met in December. They are fairly eager to start this next phase of the Forest Road Park project, so they're sort of waiting on us to move along in terms of getting the first stage of that started again in terms of the drawings. They did get a visitor, again, regarding the issue of dogs in the park, and this particular visitor was against dogs in the park. So I think the commission is still considering whether or not they want to take up this issue at all. There are several commission openings, but I think there were some placements as of this month. So hopefully most of those are filled, but I don't believe all are. So if anybody is interested in volunteering to be on the Rec Commission, please reach out to either a member of the Recreation Commission or the mayor's office, or myself is fine. The Fanwood Rec site has a lot of information about the winter programs. Wow, the microphone is crazy. About winter programs now, so they're all up and running. And I've already had a couple questions about summer camp registration. It has not opened yet. I spoke with Bob Budiansky, the director of the Fanwood summer camps, and it looks like the LeGrand camp, which is the one everybody waits for, and probably also the teen camps will open for registration in early February. So please just watch the Fanwood website to see when that will open. And I just wanted to take a minute, although this is not a Fanwood Recreation Commission thing, since it's kind of my thing this year, to note that yesterday on Martin Luther King Day, there was a large Scotch Plains Fanwood combined Mlk Day of Service that was held. The opening program was at the JCC, and it was kids and parents from all over both towns, as young as my neighbors' kids who were in kindergarten and pre-K, engaging in all sorts of projects across the two communities, volunteer projects. They made sandwiches for the hungry. They made cancer care bags, health kits. They had soup and bingo for seniors, and on. The list was endless. They filled about 1,000 volunteer slots that day. So kudos to all of these people for spending their day doing that. It was wonderful to see pictures of little 5-year-olds writing letters to kids with cancer and other kinds of projects. So I'm very proud that that happened, and I hope we can do more of that. So I just wanted to congratulate that group.
Okay, thank you. And our final committee report is from Councilwoman Mitchell.
Thank you. None of my committees have met yet this month except for the library, and I was ill for that and not able to attend, but I know you were able to attend, and Councilman Hugel was able to attend, so I wondered if you had any report that you would like to give.
We both were at that meeting, and it was a further step in talking about the library and what project we're going to be putting into the state with the new bond issue that hopefully will cover 50%. So the architect was there showing the latest iteration of the design, and truly was exciting to see where it now is. They may or may not still have a basement. It will have a mezzanine overhanging. It will have a much bigger children's room, which will be on the first floor. But all these things will be bringing back out to the public with a sketch of what the outside of the building will look like, what the interior will be, and that will be part of the packet that we will send to Trenton to hopefully obtain financing for this project, which will really give us a much better project, a brand new building, take care of all our HVAC problems, all our IT problems, and really give us a building that will maybe set us next for the 30 or 40 years. So that's really the goal, is to give back to the community something that was given to us 60 years ago, is probably just redo it and do that. So that was the library board is pretty much in consensus now of what it looks like. The Friends of the Library like what it looks like. I liked it. The mayor was there as well. We all seem to be kind of close, really a consensus of this is the design to move forward at this time and go for the funding. Does that sound about right, Russ?
Sounds good. I liked it. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, there we go. If Russ is excited, then, I'm excited. And that's how we roll.
Have you heard of anything else further yet on the application process for the state grant?
May, I think they might
Oh,
be
is that
accepting in May, I think I heard.
Okay.
That's a little ways away, huh?
No,
Right.
there's nothing official, I believe.
So the good thing is that we are pretty far along compared to other applications. We're not going to be anywhere close to the high amount that other people are going to be submitting for. And
By pretty far along, you mean we have an idea of what we want to say?
yes, absolutely. Far along is that we have really done a lot of legwork on this, and we're kind of at where we're going to be if we get this money. And the goal is always be, if, say, we get nothing from this, and we said this at the last time we talked about it at the council meeting, then we would rethink exactly how big of a project we'd be doing. Because we want to minimize the impact to Fanwoodians, as we all do. So is there anything else, Kathy?
No, that's it.
Okay. I don't believe there's any special committee reports. Now we have payment of claims.
Yes, payment of claims. I'd like to move our payment of claims in the amount of $3,715,295.59.
Second.
That's a roll call.
Yes.
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 Motion carried.
I don't believe there's anything under 10, right?
No.
Okay, so at this time, I'll accept a motion to open the meeting to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? No? Seeing no one coming forward, I'll accept a motion to close the meeting to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. There's no old business. I don't believe we talked about this because we didn't have at the consent agenda, so I'll move resolution 18-01-28, and this is for a liquor license transfer. Can anyone talk to this a little bit more for us?
Sure, this is, the owner of the South Avenue liquor store is buying this liquor license. It's a limited retail distribution license. It's a warm beer license.
And this is what the A&P
The
had.
A&P had, he's buying it from the A&P, either transferring it to the A&P, and we have to transfer it for him.
How does this help the liquor store at all?
Do not know, he's the owner, it was open, I mean, anybody could have purchased it.
Okay,
He can resell it.
I was
He can
gonna say,
resell it.
Yeah.
Sell it
Right.
if it is a need that comes up.
but it doesn't necessarily help the liquor store because they
I don't
can
see it.
sell that.
Does nothing for them.
Does nothing for them. He bought it for, for his, okay.
In the future, I believe, yes.
Okay, thank you. So I move the resolution. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Councilman Krantz, A&F.
I'd like to remove resolution 180129, authorizing in-rem tax foreclosure proceedings. I need somebody to explain what that is. If you would, Dan, please.
Sure. And
Sorry, I'm so dumb.
no. What happens is if taxpayers don't pay their taxes, whether it's a commercial or residential property, then the tax bill obviously accumulates, and after a period of time, the borough is empowered by statute to commence a proceeding to take the property because you're not collecting your taxes on
What
it.
does in-rem stand for?
It means in property. It's
Oh, it's
Latin.
Latin.
It's
Thank
Latin.
You lawyers, man. Okay, so I move that.
Second.
Roll call?
Tom Krantz,
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Melissa Hugo,
Yes.
Erin McElroy Barker,
Yes.
Jack Mullenhour.
Yes.
Motion
Next, I'd like to move Resolution 180130, and this awards a contract to Jersey Professional Management for our shared services initiatives with Scotch Plains and the Board of Ed.
Second.
Roll call?
Yes. Tom France?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Leslie Nugal?
Yes.
Erin Eckler Walker?
Yes.
Jack Mulner?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And finally, I move Resolution 180131, awarding contract for, this is our annual contract with these guys, and
No,
what do they
this
call?
is the first time we've had them.
This is janitorial services
Yes,
for the
we've
borough
got 4
hall.
responses, yeah.
Okay,
And for all our buildings.
right, and this is for their contract for, let's see, the amount of $17.08 per month, starting February 1st through the year.
Right.
Okay. I move that.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Tom France?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Leslie Nugal?
Yes.
Erin Eckler Walker?
Yes.
Jack Mulner?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, I have the last resolution. I move Resolution 180132, and this is to hire a group to perform annually our CDL random drug testing program, that when you have a commercial driver's license, you have to have random drug testing, so this is what this is.
Second.
Roll call?
Jack Mulner?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Leslie Nugal?
Yes.
Tom France?
Yes.
Erin Eckler Walker?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I'll accept a motion to open the meeting to the public for any comments.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public? No one from the public wants to get up, so with that, I'll accept a motion to close the meeting to the public.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so on that point, we now go to council comments, and I would turn to birthday boy and author, Councilman Tom Krantz.
You are funny. All I really have to say is that I saw in the forecast we had snow on the way again, right? I don't know how much. The last forecast I saw, it could be up to 6 inches depending on where you live. I just want to urge all our residents that when you know snow is coming, if at all possible, please park your car in your driveway or in some place off the street. Most people do it, but the last snowfall we had, just in driving around, I saw a lot of people were parked on the street, and what that does is obviously the plow has to go around, and then that leaves lots of snow there for neighbors to have to deal with one way or the other. So please help our DPW, and please park off street if at all possible. That's all I got.
Okay, Councilman Carter.
Your birthday today?
Yeah,
Wow. So happy birthday to you.
thanks.
And also to my 11-year-old son,
Ah.
Brett Anthony Carter. Today's his birthday, yes.
All right, baby.
And my mother's going to be January 19th. My Jason's going to be February 8th. One coming on the 24th, but we'll be here.
Any in February?
Thank you. Thank you. February.
Yeah, we don't have any restrictions on council comments in our rules and regulations, so I guess that's okay. Councilwoman Mitchell.
Yes. Aaron, you kind of stole my thunder because I was going to speak about Martin Luther King Day. But in reference to how discouraged and that I was with the rhetoric coming out of Washington, and I think on a level here in the town, we showed yesterday with all of the activities that went on for Martin Luther King Day, that we are way above that discourse. And I give credit to everybody who participated. Children, I was running the soup kitchen, the soup and salad and sandwiches for seniors. So I was there. We had volunteers all the way from age 5 up. Some of them were drying dishes, and it was kind of bedlam at times, but it was good. And there were 4 other things going on at the church at the same time, collecting things for our veterans, toys, Girl Scouts doing a project, and it didn't matter what the color of your skin was or what your ethnicity was or where you came from. So I was very heartened, and last couple of months, Erin, you have been talking about the tone and how we should be dealing with each other one-to-one and not being caught up in, as we deal with each other, not being caught up in the political discourse that's coming out of Washington. And I think yesterday was a great example of that, and I am very proud of the people in Fanwood and Scotch Plains.
Thank you. Aaron?
Sorry, Kathy, didn't mean to steal you. I was homesick, so I'm proud of you for running the soup kitchen, but I was sort of feeling like, wow, even 5-year-olds are out and I'm not doing anything. Anyway, I don't have much to say today, except I hope we keep this spirit up. I look forward to many more opportunities for this community to do good this year. And pull your basketball hoops back tonight, please.
Councilman Ugel?
Where are we with the record?
Talk.
We're close, aren't we?
Don't slow us down, man.
Unless you
38
have
minutes? All right. So,
filibuster.
precipitation tonight. It's going to be rain starting about midnight. It's going to change over to snow about 6 in the morning, so I think everybody should be careful commuting out there tomorrow. Martin Luther King Day, Day of Service. My kids, we made hats for newborn babies. I know, that's why I mentioned it, because I wanted to hear the aw. Aw. So we did that, and Kathy, 29 days, pitchers and catchers.
I'm glad you're on your toes.
Despite what's going to happen tonight with the precipitation, God bless you, our thoughts can turn to pitchers and catchers in warmer weather.
Thank you,
That's hopefully
Councilman.
coming sooner. Where are we with the record?
Yes, thank you.
36 minutes?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that's all. Good night.
One last thing, I want to congratulate and welcome our new governor, Philip Murphy. It's, if we want to have something to maybe feel some hope that maybe our state is out of its 8 years of craziness, and maybe we'll have some positive come out. He's got a tough job ahead of him. We're not in good shape, but, you know, we have nowhere to go but up. So with that, I will also continue to resist, and I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, and good night.
A new world record.